many years you been doing this?
I started yesterday.
Can I go to the witch doctor now?
We're going to start the job.
Oh, gee. 3 more hours. Seems like we're ever gonna get there. It's not gonna hurt you. No, no. No, no. Three more hours?
3 more hours.
With its extremely long legs, slender body, and heavy tail that's used for balancing during quick turns, the cheetah is built for speed. Hi, I'm Jack Hanna, here at my base camp on the Serengeti Plain at Busch Gardens, Tampa Bay. As they race after their prey at 70 miles per hour, the cheetah is the fastest of all land animals. It wasn't long ago that very little was known about the elusive cheetah, but all that changed when a South African named Anne van Dyke followed her dream. Since 1975, more than 500 cheetahs have been born at Anne van Dyke's De Wilt Cheetah Research Center. In fact, the captive breeding program is largely responsible for taking the cat off the endangered species list. But there's more to De Wilt than cheetahs, and has now turned her attention to other endangered animals, including the African wild dog and the brown hyena. So off we go on an adventure to the mountain foothills north of Johannesburg, South Africa.
There's something about the cheetah that is different to all other cats, even the domestic cat. It's aloof, and yet it's friendly. It's got beautiful deep-set brown eyes. And the cheetah, the fact that you can tame them, and when they're tamed, they accept any human as a friend. Eat all your food now.
Few people have spent as much time with cheetahs as Anne van Dyke. Boy. What is this thing? It looks like a sardine can with wheels.
Don't be rude. This is my Nomad.
Oh,
it's a very special vehicle.
Boy, this thing is... I think I could build one of these. And I don't know anything about cars.
We get there in fits and starts, but anyway it goes.
This is all right.
Away we go.
Hope a cheetah doesn't jump in here. Well, I can't believe I've heard about your cheetah breeding center for the last 10 years, and I'm finally here. In 1971, Anne and her late brother turned their farm into a research center to find out why cheetahs were so difficult to breed in captivity.
Perhaps some of the most frustrating years of my life, because I used to go up every afternoon in the little truck with the food on the back, looking for the cheetah, and always they were lying together in a group. There was no sexual activity whatsoever.
The breakthrough came 4 years later after Anne and her staff closely studied conditions in the wild. Adult female cheetahs are solitary animals, so the center gave each of its females her own isolated territory.
And the males were kept in a separate enclosure far away from the females in what we call the monastery. And when we felt that it was time to bring in the males, we did so, and we made the breakthrough in 1975 with 23 cubs from 6 females. You must realize over 20 years, only 120 cubs had been born worldwide in zoos or in captive conditions.
But the mortality rate among the cubs was still high.
We realized that we would have to give the female a better enclosure where she could have her babies. In the beginning, we let her have them out in the open. So we gave her a little housey where she went in, and invariably she has her babies in there. It's warm.
The cub mortality rate fell to about 2%. In the wild, it can be as high as 60%. Anne's research also led to an important genetic discovery. In 1981, a king cheetah was born at the center. With its heavy black markings and larger spots, some people thought the king was a cross between a cheetah and a leopard, and was able to prove otherwise.
It is a true cheetah. There's no difference in the actual makeup of the animal. The only thing is the variation in the coat pattern.
Today, the center has about 90 cheetahs, with different sections for the various age groups.
Yeah, these are our youngest.
He won't bite you, will he?
No, he won't scratch you.
What's his name?
This is Killer.
Killer?
Where is Killer?
Where is Killer? I like that. When I'm inside the cheetah pen.
Come, Killer. Come. Come on, girl. Come on in. There we are.
Hello, Killer.
Come, Killer. Come on in. Just stroke it,
That's
Jack.
beautiful. Oh, he's got a rough tongue.
Very rough.
So Killer's a little boy?
No, it's a little girl.
Little girl.
That's right.
6-month-old Killer was abandoned by her mother, leaving Anne to hand raise her. Oh, I see. So you don't hand raise all of them?
No. We only hand raise the ones we have to. Ones where the mother abandons them. We prefer the mother to raise them. They become far better cheetahs as far as breeding is concerned.
Killer and the other babies are fed twice a day.
There you are.
Some of them prefer to dine alone. Some of the older animals are kept in a section of the center, complete with native habitat.
There's another 2 here in front.
How many cheetah are in here?
6.
6 cheetah.
There's another one.
Come. Oh, here's another one. Come.
Come on.
Do they all know you?
Well, they see me sometimes,
Oh, this is something.
but they realize they're going to get some food now, so they do get a bit agitated.
Here. These cats will eat about 6 pounds of horse meat a day.
These cheetahs now are 2 years. We'll take them into the breeding cycle next year, and then we'll breed with them till about 10 years of age, and then they'll go into the retirement center, and they'll stay there until they pass on.
It's amazing. When they lay in the grass like this, you can't even, that one there I can't even see.
Exactly.
Look at that.
Exactly.
I mean, you would be walking through the bushes and not even see them.
Come across it just suddenly. The camouflage is tremendous. You must realize now that the grass is green after all the rain we've had, but you can imagine in the wintertime when prey is scarce, when they lie down in the cream-colored grass, you can't see them at all.
I hear that chirping.
Yes. Did
that
you
a
hear
cheetah?
that? Did you hear that?
Yeah.
That's a cheetah calling.
That's a
It's
cheetah?
one of their mates. He's got caught on the other side of the fence, and he wants to join his mates. That's their communication call,
Sounds just like a bird.
doesn't it? It's part of their camouflage.
Some of Anne's cheetahs are released into the wild, but most adapt better to zoos because of their contact with people. Unlike most big cats, cheetahs hunt during the day. Their distinctive tear lines run from the corner of their eyes to their mouths and help reduce the sun's glare.
They have this long tail, which is actually oval, it's not round, and that of course they use as a rudder or as a balance when they're chasing their prey. Cheetah can reach up to 70 kilometers an hour as far as speed is concerned, but it only can keep it up for a short period of time.
I saw a demonstration of the cheetah's speed several years ago when I was taping a program in Ohio. The cat raced across the football field toward a simulated prey. With its aerodynamic body and a flexible spine that enables it to reach top speed very quickly, the cheetah is truly an amazing animal. These are among the most endangered animals in the world, and the most feared. They are African wild dogs. They are being bred at the DeVilt Research Center by Ann Van Dyke and her staff. The dogs travel in packs of up to 40 animals, and they are among nature's most efficient killers. I was more than a little nervous as we approached them. Well, it looks like they're hungry.
They're waiting for their food. We've come just in time. Shall
Is
we
it
get
safe
out?
to get out over here?
Yes, we'll get out. Just keep close to me.
I'm going to
I
be
always believe in numbers.
I'm going to be in your shadow.
Okay.
I've seen how these dogs eat. The dogs use their speed and numbers to chase down prey. Once an animal is exhausted, the kill is quick, and some might say brutal.
Eat the animal in about, anything up to 5 minutes.
The whole animal?
The whole animal. They tear it to pieces. They've got very strong jaws, and they will tear the animal apart.
Their method of killing and their attacks on livestock led to a general hatred of the dogs, and they were hunted almost to extinction. But Ann believes their reputation as cruel and bloodthirsty is undeserved.
I've heard of a lion taking an hour and a half.
Watch out.
That's okay. A lion taking an hour and a half to kill a buffalo, to me, that is cruel, but these dogs are very quick.
Education programs have helped change the public opinion about the dogs, and Ann has been able to successfully release several litters into game reserves. The dogs in this pack, a male, its mate, and their 9 offspring, were part of a history-making experiment. Wild dogs give birth underground. Ann's staff built an artificial lair connected to a tunnel and fitted with one-way glass. This was the result.
Wow, this is some tunnel. Hope there's no dogs down here.
First recorded birth of wild dog puppies.
She went in about, probably about 24 hours beforehand, and then as the puppies came off, naturally she licked them and cleaned them and so forth. Naturally their eyes are closed like any other puppy, domestic pup, and they're very helpless, very small, about the size of a small spaniel, I would say. There was about 3 weeks before she brought them out.
Even though the pups are now almost fully grown, they remain submissive to their parents. In the wild, every pack has a dominant male and female, and a well-defined social group. The dogs kept their distance, but the way they watched us and their almost constant movement made me feel very much like potential prey. It was one of the few times in all my travels that being near animals actually gave me the willies.
There's just something about them. I'd hate to be in a tent at night and have a bunch of those animals come up.
I think it must be very terrifying.
Well, that was something. Man, alive.
It's quite an experience, isn't it?
Whew. My legs are shaking, but I'll never get that close to wild dogs again. Wow, thank you.
I'm always happy to show my family. Oh dear.
Let's make sure the car starts. I'd hate to be stuck here tonight.
Come, Cindy. Cindy.
In another area of the research center, Ann introduced me to Cindy, a brown hyena. I was amazed when the animal let Ann pet it because I'd always heard that hyenas were extremely vicious.
These, of course, have been hand-raised. The normal brown hyena wouldn't be anything like this. They're very nervous creatures, and if a farmer should trap one in a cage, they go quite crazy. They rip everything apart.
A hyena may look like a dog, but is considered more closely related to the cat. Our camera gear must have frightened Cindy and her mates, despite our great efforts to call them back. Brown hyenas are primarily scavengers. They feed on scraps left by other predators. But as food supplies dwindle, the animals have been forced to hunt both livestock and wild game.
Now, I've heard of the crushing power with a hyena's jaws. They say it's the greatest crushing power most of any animal. The jaws are...
That's quite correct, because they have to have that to break down the bones and whatever's left and tear the skin of what is left of the kill.
Brown hyenas are not endangered, but are protected by law. They are smaller than the better-known spotted or laughing hyena.
Now, are they a social animal? Do they go in packs like dogs?
No, they're not like the spotted. The spotted, as you know, goes in a group, in a clan, as they call it. And the brown hyena is usually single, or it could be with its mate. Or, of course, it could be mother with pups.
Another difference between the animals is the sound they make when they're excited or agitated. The spotted hyena has its famous high-pitched laugh. The brown hyena makes a much lower sound. I thought I was the only one with on-camera experience around here, but apparently that's not the case.
Who's that over there?
That's Robert Redford.
Robert Redford?
That's right.
How do you get the name Robert Redford?
He was in a film they made on the brown hyena at the Skeleton Coast, and they used him for close-ups. And he also asks for his supper. He asks very nicely.
He does?
Yes, shall I do it? Show you. Come, Robert.
He likes to go eat in private.
Yes, yes.
You know, I should have old Robert around the next time I tell a joke. Hey, Robert, did you hear the one about the traveling salesman? Not all the animals at the center are as mysterious as the cheetah, or as horrifying as the wild dogs, but most of them are endangered, or close to it.
That's a very rare bontebok.
What happened to him?
They were shot out in the early days. It was a very popular animal for their heads. It's an unusual head, and also, of course, the meat is very edible. And we are now trying to breed them up into a large herd. We've got new blood coming in again next year, and then we will distribute them among other game farms.
Despite her success with other animals, Anne's favorite remains the cheetah. She saved the best for last.
Jack, I'm going to show you something special now. I'm going to introduce you to Jillian.
Jillian?
That's right.
Oh, wow.
Jillian?
Jillian?
Here we are. Here's Jillian.
Golly dang.
Hi, Jillian, what you doing?
Jillian was abandoned when she was about 10 days old. Anne took her in and hand-raised her. I've been around
She's
other
very
domesticated
special.
big cats, but the relationship between Anne and Jillian was unique.
You have others that I've hand-raised, but you can't really trust them. But Jillian, I trust with my life. I wouldn't have any problems with her. She really is an exceptional animal.
Being pregnant didn't seem to affect Jillian's disposition. She allowed me to look at the long claw on the inside of her front paw. Cheetahs use that claw to hold on to their prey.
Well, you're special. I won't forget this day. Beautiful, man.
For Jillian and the other females, the center provides a safe place to have their babies.
The cheetah actually has a very hard life. The male comes to the female when she's in season, and he will mate with her, and then he leaves her. And she's left on her own to carry the cubs and to give birth. And then she goes out to hunt. And those cubs are quite helpless when the mother's not there. And that is when you get the lion coming in, the jackal, the spotted hyena coming and taking the babies.
There are normally 4 or 5 cubs in a litter, although some cheetahs have as many as 8 cubs at a time. The center also serves as a haven for older cats.
The life expectancy of a cheetah here at this beautiful place is a lot longer than in the wild.
Yes, they live till about, here we've had some up to about 17 years. But in the wild, it's usually 10 to 12. Then they lose their speed, their teeth give in, and they fall prey to lion and leopard.
Anne became involved in animal conservation almost by accident. She was given 2 young cheetahs as pets back in the late 1960s.
It just so happened, it all fell into place. We started with the cheetah, and then I was offered a litter of 6 wild dog puppies, and then we got the brown hyena, and so the one followed the other. But we stuck mainly to endangered because the other animals are easy to breed, and we feel that we are highly specialized for breeding endangered animals. I'm very proud, and I feel that I have done something with my life. And I really think that when I go, I will put my head down happily, because if I had to do it again, I certainly would do the same thing all over again.
Thanks to the wonderful work done at the DeVilt Cheetah Research Center, we have a better understanding of the elusive cheetah, and to think it began simply with one woman's passion for one animal. And one of the best places for your wildlife introduction is right here, the African Veldt at Busch Gardens, Tampa Bay. To tell us more about this spacious habitat is Julie Scardina, animal expert with Busch Gardens and SeaWorld. Welcome back to Animal Adventures, Julie.
Thanks, Jack. It's great to be back. And you know, when I'm visiting here, I get a chance to visit with the lemurs, the hippos, and the giraffes, which all share a part of what we call the Serengeti Plain on our African Veldt.
Now, what is a veldt?
Well, veldt is actually a Maasai word for endless plain, and that's exactly what we've tried to recreate here at Busch Gardens. In this 80-acre natural setting, more than 500 African animals roam in herds across the veldt-like landscape. Many varieties of antelope, gazelle, and zebra live in large areas which are separated by mostly natural barriers. This allows the animals to maintain their natural herding instincts and live much as they would in their native Africa. You may see some of our animals doing certain behaviors that they don't do as often in the wild, like giraffes bending down and eating off the ground. And that's because we have no free-ranging predators on our veldt, and the animals know it. Here, their food is provided by zookeepers. We also have many species of birds on the veldt that are migrating or local residents. Visitors to the Serengeti Plain have the unique opportunity to appreciate these creatures in a habitat that closely resembles their native environment. Seeing the animals in this setting will help people to understand how important it is to continue to ensure that these animals can survive in the wild.
And who knows, maybe one of our visitors will turn out to be an animal enthusiast.
I hope so.
Thanks a lot, Julie. A sun bear, the mangled victim of a kitchen table surgery. His claws removed and teeth pulled in a misguided attempt to turn a wild creature into a household pet. Hi, I'm Jack Hanna, here at my base camp on the Serengeti Plain at Busch Gardens, Tampa Bay. That sun bear has had a painful past, but thanks to a safe haven in Southern California, I'm happy to report the tiny bear is very much alive and well. The helpless sun bear was rescued by Martine Collette more than 20 years ago. Since then, the Wildlife Way Station has sheltered more than 25,000 wild and exotic animals. Had it not been for the Wildlife Way Station, many of the animals you'll see would not be alive today. So join me now in the Angeles National Forest for a story, not about death, but life. When settlers crossed these canyons 150 years ago, a way station was a place of refuge, a place where the weary could find food and shelter. It was in that spirit that the Wildlife Way Station was established in 1976 by Martine Collette, a woman whose compassion for abused and abandoned animals is matched only by her determination to save them. The way station takes in more than 5,000 wild and exotic animals a year, everything from lions, tigers, and bears to peacocks, ducks, and potbelly pigs. You don't turn down any animal, it sounds like.
I have never said no to an animal, and I never will.
No matter what kind of animal, like you don't have a snake, a slithery old snake, or a
Slithery old snake, it doesn't make any difference what it is.
After building a successful Hollywood business, Martine began taking injured and orphaned animals into her home. When space became a problem, she sold the business and bought a 160-acre ranch. It became a way station. Why do you do this?
I think originally I responded to a need. You know, there was a halfway house was necessary, and there was no place for them to go. And now I think it's because I know I have made a difference, and I love wildlife, I love animals, and I like to put my money where my mouth is.
The animals now come from all over the world. This pair of cougars arrived from a zoo that had closed in Germany. They were within hours of being put to sleep. A European wildlife group contacted Martine and arranged the transfer. Many of the animals are rehabilitated and put back into the wild, but some are placed into a reputable zoo or preserve. But for those who cannot be relocated, and for those who are too injured to be released, the way station is now home. Hummer is a Malaysian sun bear. Sun bears are the smallest breed of bear in the world, but they are still bears. They are not meant to be pets. In an attempt to control Hummer, her former owner declawed her, then cut out her teeth.
This was literally a kitchen table surgery. Somebody declawed her in their house without the benefit of veterinarians. Her feet will never be right. They will be permanently mangled.
Martine has seen this kind of mutilation before.
In a way, I hold the people who do it responsible, but I also hold the people that sell them these animals equally as responsible, because the average person that buys an exotic pets like a bear or a lion or a tiger, they don't know what they're getting into. But the guy who sells them that knows.
It's not only large animals that are abandoned by their owners. Many smaller exotic pets are left behind once their novelty wears off.
This is the latest craze, Jack. We have, I think, 40, 50 iguanas here right now from people who thought they would like to have an iguana, and then they found it's not exactly what they expected.
People usually buy an animal when it's small. They don't think about it getting bigger. One look at the iguana's claws, and it's easy to see why they don't make good pets.
We've gone through so many crazes here. You know, we went through the potbelly pig craze, the snake craze, the iguana craze. We're anticipating a whole slew of hedgehogs to arrive here in the next couple of years, because now it's the hedgehog craze.
Well, these are neat bears. Not all the animals here were abandoned by humans. Some, like these grizzly bear cubs, were orphaned.
The mother was shot because she scared a household owner. There's no abuse involved, except they had no place to go. Grizzly bears are hard to place. Not a lot of facilities will take grizzlies. Come here. Hey.
Come here. They like grapes, I think. Come here. They like grapes. Here, I'll let you. Sorry.
I'm going to take down that old enclosure, this one's, the ones in the back, put a nice pool and make a beautiful large enclosure, because they will live for many, many years, 30, 40 years. So they need to be taken good care of. That's it, kids, no more. Sorry.
These are hybrid wolves. They're too dangerous to keep as pets, but too tame to be released. At the way station, Martine tries to create for them a natural physical environment with natural social conditions. For the wolves, that means a pack.
Wolves are so intelligent. They have such a social structure. They're so family and pack-oriented that it is cruel to keep animals like this apart. I've known every one of them since they were little. And although I don't think I look like a wolf or act like a wolf, but I am part of their family unit.
No matter how natural the enclosures are made, no matter how comfortable the animals become, bars and fences still bother Martine.
I've never had animal pets that I kept in cages. I didn't really believe in animals in cages. Today it's different because I know that the wild is shrinking. A lot of these animals, if they did not live in enclosures, they wouldn't be alive at all.
Of all the incredible creatures at the wildlife way station, the cats are the most impressive.
What's that noise?
Lions roaring.
Are they hungry?
No, they're just talking.
Oh, okay.
It's a nice day and it's their territory and it's...
All right, just make sure I'm not dinner.
No. We've never lost a host of a show yet. You're not going to be the first one, Jack.
Yeah, yet. I like that, yet.
There are nearly 400 large cats here, and it seems that Martine has a special relationship with just about every one of them.
Such a good boy. You are such a good boy. Well, bring your fat self over here. Yes, bring your fat self over here. Good girl. Ariana, why don't you come over here? You're not camera shy.
Martine calls the cats with a deep-throated purr. Ariana is a ligress, the daughter of a lion father and a tiger mother. This crossbreeding does not occur in the wild.
There was a gentleman who called up one day and he said his life circumstances changed and he could no longer keep his tiger. So I went up to pick up the tiger, and while I was there, another gentleman had this ligress. And he said, well, it sounds like a good idea, you know, my circumstances in life will change also, and I can't keep them either. So would you mind taking her? And I said, not at all. So I brought both the girls home.
Boy, that's a beautiful lion right there. Man.
Isn't he wonderful?
Where'd it come from?
It came out of an Oregon facility. They had too many animals there. He was never abused, unlike a lot of the animals who come here. This one was never abused. It was just a surplus situation, and we took them here.
Do you take every cat someone asks you for a home?
I have never said no to a wild animal in my life, and don't intend to.
You're so nice.
This tiger was once owned by a fashion photographer. When it was a cub, models would pose with it. But as the tiger got bigger, the models got nervous. Feeding time at the weigh station is quite an operation. They go through a ton of meat every day. Some of the newest arrivals here survived an animal tragedy of horrifying neglect. In September 1995, nearly 24 lions and ligers escaped from a private animal compound in Idaho. 18 of the animals were killed by local police. Liger Town was nothing but chicken wire and plywood shanties. Martine says conditions inside were deplorable.
But we were walking up to our knees in chicken feathers and bones and leftover rotten meat. What water there was, and there was very little water to be seen. Most of the pens did not have any water at all. I don't know how they watered them. It was black. The stench of the facility was indescribable. The worst, I have seen some horrible conditions. I've done a lot of rescues, and this will fit probably the worst I have ever.
Martine and her crew were called to Ligertown by the Department of Agriculture.
They needed manpower to get those animals moved, and mostly they needed a place to put these animals. I mean, you can't just pick up the phone and say, excuse me, I've got 27 lions here. Could you take them for the afternoon? So
they brought back 27 cats, including 5 babies. It was the largest rescue ever undertaken by the weigh station. Work began immediately on new facilities for the cats. During my visit, one of the rescued lions was moved to his new enclosure. Although his overall health had improved, his deformed foot was a sad reminder of his life at Ligertown.
The way that they kept the animals, there was no way for them to be able to keep fathers from daughters and mothers from sons, and the interbreeding was horrific.
But there is also good news. Remember the baby lions that were rescued?
Now, are these some from the Idaho cats?
These are all from the Idaho cats.
Oh my gosh.
She was a tiny infant when I brought her in. He was born here. Come here.
Oh, they're beautiful.
And Nayeri was born here. Hey, sweetheart.
It would be hard not to love these cubs. They are truly adorable. But they're also wild, and in a few short months, they will be extremely dangerous. The way they come up behind me is only partly in play.
Oh, right behind you. Learning how to kill.
That tickles.
Oh.
So these little lions have a much better home now.
Yes, they're going to live, which is an amazing thing. Ha!
I think lions are your favorite. That's what I think.
I've never met a lion I didn't like, Jack.
Look at this. Look at this. How do you handle all these?
Oh, with great amount of love.
Be nice.
We are so lucky. Mwah. We are so lucky.
The daily arrival of animals at the weigh station requires constant construction in order to meet needs. One of the most ambitious projects underway will house more than 4 dozen chimpanzees. Some of the first inhabitants are these guys, former medical research chimps.
What type of research were these chimps used for?
Predominantly AIDS and hepatitis B and C. They have done, in my opinion, a phenomenal service for mankind, and I think the least that we can do is give them this wonderful retirement. This is a quarantine area, so our keepers are specialized keepers just for this area. These are not the same keepers who will be keeping animals out. When they've finished going through our quarantine process, hopefully we'll be able to move them to the new primate center when, by that time it should be done.
Chimps are used in the research because genetically they are much like us.
Well,
In fact, they are closer to humans than they are to gorillas or orangutans. The chimps here include a famous primate named Bowie. Bowie has been featured on network television. Years ago, he was taught American Sign Language. Unfortunately, today, he's decided not to talk to strangers.
some of these chimps have not been with other chimps before. Our horrendous task is to give them socialization. And we're lucky now, we have socialized 6 out of the 10 chimps that were sent here to us.
Yeah, they all seem happy.
Very happy. Of course, the key, you know, in the next life, I want to come back as an animal where I have room service and I've got veterinaries come out to see me all the time. I've got behaviors to interpret my every wish. What did she mean when she scratched her head, you know? I mean, it's a marvelous thing. You look at how much energy these people put into these chimpanzees.
Some people buy exotic animals to be stylish. Others confuse love with the need to possess. The need for responsible animal ownership is emphasized to the student groups who visit the weigh station.
Among the things that we want you to remember is that wild animals do not make good pets. If we want pets, we should have cats and dogs, because those we know how to take care of.
Although much of the work here is performed by volunteers, it still costs more than $2 million a year to run the wildlife weigh station.
The Idaho lions cost us $140,000, and that's to rescue 29 of them. The chimpanzees that came in, we had 10 chimps arrive, that cost us $160,000. So in a matter of 30 days, we spent $300,000, and that's not even talking about long-term upkeep of the animals and medical and so on.
Some of the animals are sponsored by celebrities. Martine also holds membership drives and organizes programs and other fundraising activities.
In today's world, when you're a charity, you have to be very diverse in how you raise your money. Gone are the days when you had this wonderful benefactor that wrote you a check once a year and you could just relax. What a good girl. I find it very, very difficult to raise money.
But somehow, she does it.
If there's a problem with a wild animal and they need a place to go, we will accept it here. From hummingbirds to elephants. Well, not too many elephants, please. We don't have an elephant barn big enough.
To be a responsible citizen of our planet, we must be mindful of the delicate balance of nature. Like Martine Collette, people all over the world are working to preserve sensitive animal habitats. How are their goals accomplished? And who are these noble crusaders? For that information, we're joined by Julie Scardina, animal expert for Busch Gardens and SeaWorld. Welcome back to Animal Adventures, Julie.
Thanks, Jack. You know, getting involved in conservation can be as simple as recycling newspapers and cans, picking up misplaced trash, or turning off the lights when you leave a room. All these little acts add up in the long run.
You're right about that. And you know, a lot of people dedicate their life to conservation.
Absolutely. You know, like the people of SeaWorld and Hubbs Research Center. They are hard at work to save a 20th century dinosaur, the leatherback sea turtle, which has inhabited our Earth for thousands of years.
You know, I know, and sadly enough, the leatherback faces extinction.
That's right. Man's intrusion on its habitat has caused a worldwide drop in the leatherback population, but we're really working hard to reverse that trend. On the beaches of St. Croix, at the Sandy Point Wildlife Refuge, nesting females are fiercely protected and monitored. Our project researchers do everything they can to make sure the female is allowed to nest safely and undisturbed. Sometimes her eggs will be moved so they won't be washed away. Every effort is made to preserve the precious hatchlings. Our scientists even have ultrasound imaging equipment out in the field, which is great because it gives them incredible insight on the turtle's reproductive system.
Wow, they do that right there on the beach?
Yep, and this project, which began 14 years ago, has been really successful. Hundreds of thousands of hatchlings have gone out to sea. Just think, Jack, someday one of those hatchlings may return to this very same beach to nest her eggs.
So what is the survival rate of the hatchlings?
Well, you know, that's still a mystery, but with the continuing efforts to increase their numbers, our researchers believe the future of the species looks promising.
Well, let's hope for a happy ending. Thanks a lot, Julie.
Thanks, Jack.
And thank you for joining me. From my base camp on the Serengeti Plain at Busch Gardens, Tampa Bay, I'm Jack Hanna. See you on the next Animal Adventures.
Animal Adventures is brought to you by Anheuser-Busch Theme Parks, a pledge and a promise helping to preserve the world we share.
Oh, boy, that hurts. Golly. Like a razor. Like an electric razor. What's she doing that for?
That's a submissive gesture. She's saying she wants to be your friend again, basically.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm. Get it down, we'll open the little hole.
That's wrong.
That's okay.
What the? Jeepers. He counted to 6. How you doing?
That's a walrus greeting.
Let's go. So she went inside the rubble like that in Oklahoma City?
Correct.
I can't believe I'm in a really good.
Bye.
Man, they can leap, Andy.
Each year, only 50 students are accepted into the training program.
Would you like getting up at 6 o'clock in the morning and cleaning up monkey poop? That might be the coolest thing I've ever witnessed.
Welcome back.
That's the experience of a lifetime there.
Be nice, Chucky. Chucky, come here, Chucky, come here, boy. Come here, Chuck. Come here, Chucky, 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 Chucky.
She is, if she gets yucky, she's yucky.
Yep. Chucky, yucky, yucky, Chucky.
Yucky Chucky. All right behind you. Learning how to kill.
That tickles. So these little lions have a much better home now.
Yes, they're going to live, which is an amazing thing.
I think lions are your favorite. That's what I think.
I've never met a lion I didn't like, Jack.
Look at this. Look at this. How do you handle all these?
Oh, with great amount of love.
Be nice.
We're so lucky. Mwah. We are so lucky. We are so lucky.